The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it, something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it. Janice Mackey-Frere, NBC News, Beijing.
Okay, this is what we were talking about before we went to break. Food. The cost to feed families is so high that more Americans are taking out short-term loans just to buy their groceries.
Everywhere she goes, Oh-Young Hao-Yu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Hao-Yu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Ai-Ni are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools.
They're eating now and paying later, but many are then missing payments on that very bill. Xavier Walton is here with us. Xavier, I'm trying to wrap my head around this one. You know, people get to the checkout line, they skip the coupons, they skip the credit card, and they go right to pay later. How does this work?
Hey, Marky, good morning. I guess coupons are just a thing of the past. Honestly, it was a bit shocking to me, too. And then I started looking at the data from LendingTree and their survey. A little less shocking, still a little surprising, though. But let's get into the data. Let's talk about who is actually using this buy now, pay later loan, or this option to actually buy groceries. When you stop and think about it, I mean, we're talking about American consumers ages 18 to 79. So everyone's sort of feeling that financial pinch, if you will. About 50% of people who participated in this survey said they use buy now, pay later, or BNPL services with financing companies. Within half of those surveyed, 25% said they were using buy now, pay later loans to buy groceries, which is actually up about 11% from last year. But who exactly is using these installment payments, right? Well, here it is. The survey showed that men more likely than women, and then the younger you are, the more likely you are to use this borrow now, pay back later sort of scheme, so to speak. 64% of Gen Zers say they have used one. Looking at older Americans here, only 29% of baby boomers ages 61 to 79 say that they have used the buy now, pay later options. So that gives you an idea of a little bit of a gender gap there. Economic experts say that these sort of figures are proof some consumers are having trouble affording essentials all the way down to groceries. LendingTree's chief consumer finance analyst says, people are looking for ways to extend their budget and cash flow. And that inflation, high interest rates are still putting them in a tough spot, not to mention there's a lot of uncertainty around tariffs and other sort of economic issues. One thing to really be aware of, the downside for consumers, you can see higher fees if they pay late. And Marky, if they start stacking up too many of these buy now, pay later loans, that's why economic experts or finance experts will say you got to proceed with caution. Be careful. Use it if you really have to.